From the depths of internet, we come to you. Bad news, good news, dead horse beating news. Even no news will stop us. We'll make news. Even if it is in dumpster fire. We bring you integrity, except when it's EA, Ubisoft, Bethesda, Star Citizen, practically all of them. Movies, shows, and other industry bullshit. This totally is not a waste of time, but it sure is. Space Waste News! Oh god, there we go, we got the audios and everything's. Greetings folks on the Space Waste News for this pre-Christmas thing. As me and Pilot are finally back and gonna be talking about basically two topics at this point. So strap in folks, it's gonna be riveting. Oh yeah.
I mean, really, did anybody else do anything for the last 2 weeks besides play Cyberpunk? Seriously.
Probably no. I mean, last 2 weeks. I don't know about you, but it basically came out not 2 weeks ago, but a week. Well, okay, 10 days, but regardless.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah, fair enough. Yep. Oh well.
Realistically, I had a vacation. I took a total vacation from everything, turned off all of well, mostly turned off social media, and then spent 10 days in Night City, and I actually enjoy the hell out of it. I really do. There's some bad parts, but not really enough to make me put it down.
Okay, so I guess we're going with the cyberpunk topic. Oh boy, right. Okay, since I can literally just go on and on about the goods and the bads and all that stuff, I wonder, however, for someone who doesn't criticize things that much, Pilot, what is the worst part thus far in cyberpunk for you, at least?
Oh, well, it's probably got to be the random crashes whenever I'm reloading a certain gun. That's always fun. But I figured out that if I make a save point before the beginning of literally any mission or side mission, or a quick save, which is relatively easy, then, it's not that big a deal. The random things not spawning or interaction points not spawning, that's always infuriating. I wandered around an alleyway for the better part of an hour trying to figure out which clue I missed while I was scanning all around and jumping up and down and figure, oh, well, maybe it's a vertical clue. Maybe I have to scale these buildings and, jumping up there and scanning this and scanning that, only to Google it at about the hour mark and says, oh, no. If you don't let Johnny finish his entire speech before you answer, then the interaction point for the thing that you scanned first doesn't pop, which means you can't complete the mission at all. And I thought that was
great.
infuriating.
I think I had similar mission. The one mission I had was on a high rise, the swanky political couple. That
I like
mission. Basically, their second mission. Their apartment. That completely crashed for me. I couldn't finish it.
Oh no!
So yeah.
No, this was the chasing down the elusive philosophical hacker, the one that has the website that has a cult following.
Oh, that one I finished. Yeah, that's all right. No, the political couple one was their security firm observing them. That part.
Oh man, no! Don't ruin it. Don't spoil it. But
I literally couldn't finish it. I literally got to there's something weird in their apartment. I discover it, and I can't get further than that. There are two objectives, and it's just. Yep.
I'm sorry you couldn't. I'm really sorry you couldn't finish it. That was a great storyline, dude. These storylines are so great. They just
not all of them.
I love.
Sure, yeah.
Not all of them. Well, not all of them are going to be winners. Not all of our videos are winners.
Yeah. Exactly.
But I mean, I love the fact that they subvert expectations. Like you think they're going to make a hard right, but it actually just ends up going a hard left. And I did not see that coming. And I find that more often than not, I did not see that coming. And that's the best part. That's the best gift someone like me can have. Someone who writes stories and looks at stories and dissects stories and everything like that. If I don't see something coming, I am so grateful.
Well, I mean, sure. Oh God, in that case, in a way, there was this wonderful director subverting expectations. What was his name? He did
Shyamalan.
Yeah, he did. He did that, and there were a few as well, a few other
Well,
ones
no,
as well.
okay, hold on.
For the
Problem
Star
with
Trek
Shyamalan
too, just.
Shyamalan, the problem with his subverting expectations in that way is that we all saw it coming every single time. That's not subverting expectations. That's just making new expectations. No, this was actually good. Like the addition of just this advanced technology changes so much, and you could really tell they wove it into every single story. I legitimately I love it. I really do. I think the world of cyberpunk is great and vast and
Oh yeah,
yeah.
the Kurtzman. There we go, Alex Kurtzman. That's what I was alluding to. Subverting expectations, right there. Great example of it, isn't it? The thing is, the point I'm making is essentially that you don't need to necessarily do the subversion of what you expect would happen. Also, the expected sometimes is what people want. I mean, that is, basically a definition of a fan. You want the same thing that you had before, but maybe a slightly different one. So completely going out of your way to avoid the predicted or expected is, well, just for the sake of it, is idiotic. So
No,
not keen on generalization there. So
well, this isn't. No, you're just picking out one little term that I've used in my sentence and building off of that. What I'm saying is that cyberpunk has created a world that genuinely understands and accepts its technological progress and how that would have affected society, and creates stories based on that, which I genuinely enjoy. I think they've done it very well. There are some major problems with the game and the gameplay, yes, but
story-wise, there were plenty
there.
of problems as well. For example, I don't know if that's technically not a spoiler, so there you go. But the age-old sci-fi, I suppose, aspect and topic that is handled when it comes to AIs and the legitimacy of their being, how alive are they, or are they a person? The same thing with something, what one of the characters, Johnny, the construct, basically a copy of a brain. Is that a valid sort of analog for a person, or does that count as such? And not a single
hold on.
They
construct is different. The AIs are constructs. The Johnny is an engram, which means he's an actual copy of Johnny's brain.
But even so,
that's a different thing, though.
Well, that's the point, Does that still count as, a person, regardless? They didn't really handle, or didn't even properly touch on that sort of a subject. They already assumed that, yes, both are a valid thing. And honestly,
no, there are a couple times where they do question it, and they.
There are a few small moments, but I was properly waiting for them to actually, take in that proper philosophical take on, the personhood, or what constitutes as person.
I'll give you a good example of what I'm talking about. The Voodoo Boys. If you go there and you start that chain of missions, you're going to walk into the church and you see that they're worshiping and praying, and but what's actually happened is they've gone from old school voodoo of worshiping spirits and summoning spirits to do whatever you need to be done, to actually creating whole AI programs, sentient AI programs, and worshiping them. that religion has evolved and embraced technology and shifted. And I think that's amazing. I think that's great. They've created their own spirits, basically the gods that they worship in AI. I wish they had gone further with it, but realistically, that's not the point of the game. The point of the game is your V, and you want to follow his storyline. I want to spend more time in this world, though. I really, really do. I love the fact that voodoo evolved into worshiping AI spirits. That's awesome. Yeah?
Well, sure. That oh god, that actually reminds me of another storyline about the whole Jesus thing and fucking Jesus. Oh god. But I mean, sure, yeah. Cyberpunk in general, right, being in an open world sort of a game, still, has or having a plethora of basically small quests or just simply even mentions here and there as mini quests or side quests or whatever you want to call them, right? They do try to at least mention some of the sci-fi ideas and then the philosophical contemplations or whatnot else you have it, but I don't know. Throughout my first playthrough and then later on as well, reflecting on all of it, just didn't feel that they actually cared to examine them more thoroughly, or rather give them sort of more life. I don't know. But oh well, then again, who knows? Maybe the way, or rather, what I took away from it was quite a bit different. Still, kind of expected a bit more sort of a philosophical thing rather than a personal journey sort of a thing.
V's not really much of a thinker. I mean, and we are playing the game through the eyes of V. I mean, if we had created our own character and we were open, maybe the dialogue would be a little bit more different. But realistically, we're playing through the eyes of a street hustler.
Oh, I mean, okay. Finally, the mention to Deus Ex comes out, but Deus Ex also had the same sort of a thing. Slightly different,
yeah,
sure, but
I had the same complaint with Deus Ex that you do here. Is that I really wish that I didn't have to be this guy. That's it.
Well, in a way, you can say that. Yeah, okay. So you create your own character, and you have your own personal expectation of what that character is. But honestly, that creates also that muddied version of the story. Rather, the character you created doesn't exactly fit the general, let's say, expected message of the story, or expected progression of the story the way you created it. So yeah, there's that limitation, and honestly, for a stronger story, I rather do prefer pre-built character, character with its own ideas, ideals, and opinions that could be exactly opposite of what you believe, and still those particular aspects of it are important. Yes.
Let me ask you a question. What did you think of Johnny?
Oh, that's a big question. That's the thing. You throughout the story, you go through actually so much to learn about the character. Sure, on the surface, Johnny is, the cynic, the absolute, rocker boy, and so on and so forth. That sort of a rebel. But yeah, a cynic and whatever else you can apply to that. I wouldn't say nihilist, but yeah.
Well, he's nihilistic tendencies.
There are plenty of them, but mostly it's a cynic. Yeah.
Okay. I have... a lot of people complained about Keanu Reeves' portrayal of Johnny. I thought he did very well. I enjoyed talking to basically Keanu Reeves and calling him Johnny. I thought that was fine. As for narrative points, I think he was a major asswipe the entire freaking game. Even on his redemption, where you start to get friendly and everything like that, blah 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 blah, and you're like, oh, I legitimately care about you and you care about me and we would die for each other, blah 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 blah. No, I still think you're kind of a douche, man. No. I mean, to be fair though, V is also kind of a douche. Some of those dialogue options are just, yeah, no. You're kind of an asshole too. You two deserve each other, definitely. Oh, and by the way, in chat, yes, alt is in the game.
Okay. No,
What? Someone in the
no,
chat was wondering if
no,
alt was there.
Johnny Wise, well, the character I would say is, well, he's clearly supposed to be, the driving horrible influence on your protagonist, if you will, or furthering of it, sort of. Yeah, the redemption, you see, I don't know. Again, the problem with cyberpunk style of games where there's multiple choices and whatnot else, the story gets muddied a lot. That's kind of the issue as well, yeah, sure, you can have, side story A, B, C, or endings A, B, C, and so on and so forth, but to get to them you have to play in a specific way in order, for things to make sense. Because the way I played it at first, was resistant to Johnny, right? Because that's what you kind of expect, the game kind of
You want
forces
to
you to be defensive at first, because he tries to kill you, right? At first, as he emerges, but yeah, clearly it's supposed to be, you become friends later, and that's the sort of a main storyline, or rather story. Well, yeah, the main storyline, and every other deviation is sort of the aside, what if you will.
Yeah.
And honestly, speaking of that sort of a thing, I have a feeling that one of my immersion sim belovers, Charlton Wonder, would pretty much, actually, when I did talk about the cyberpunk with him, he even went as far as to say cyberpunk was basically pretending to have the multiple choice thing, and basically the game constantly wanted, at least in his opinion, to do one specific thing rather than go around and sort of pretend that it has. And there is plenty of that in it still. Some deviations are around, but I don't know.
No, I mean, look, is that someone in your chat just kind of nailed it. The main story was a little boring and short, in my opinion. The narrative, execution, dialogue, characters, and etc. were fantastic. That's actually very apt. By the time I got to the end, I assumed that I would go and basically have a scenario where I could get rid of Johnny and then keep going around Night City. And, basically it was just one more mission and a kind of an ending, but I didn't have to stop playing. And that is just not true at all. The game basically ends, and you if you want to keep going, you go back to the save where before that last moment. And I thought that was terrible. All the endings are kind of bad. I didn't like any of them. And I'm just sorry. No, I wanted more from that. I want to spend more time in this world. I want to go hunt down Maelstrom goons and, rip their freaking faceplates off because they mutilated their bodies and they, mutilate other people. I want to go and, steal Valentino cars and maybe have a more engaging Netrunner aspect and play. Oh, I want to go hunt down rare demons to go and add to my cyber deck. That would be awesome. Maybe double cross a certain character I can't mention because it gives away the storyline, and maybe download them and have them just basically as my personal net demon. How awesome would that be? Right?
You're kind of asking a bit much of a game that tries to have multiple choices and so on and so forth, but okay, fair enough, I suppose.
I mean,
no, overall, generally speaking, yeah, Cyberpunk as a game, it oddly lacked, for me at least, it generally just simply lacked that philosophical aspect of the sci-fi genre that you always do. Because, well, generally speaking, sci-fi is a great conduit for political, social, and so on and so forth, a commentary on, well, basically what we are living through. I mean, look at Star Trek, right? OG Star Trek, and other things, right? Blade Runner 2, right? But Cyberpunk, again, it just kind of felt a bit muddied. or rather too much muddied, with things basically being set in place, not really explained, and they're just there for being there. I don't know.
What do you mean?
Right, and here comes the comparison. Deus Ex, right? Deus Ex had a, well, relatively speaking, a specific sort of a story that it wanted to tell, and of course invoke a certain commentary alongside of it. The, transhumanism, if you will.
Yeah.
And a few other things, right? Cyberpunk, instead of dealing with more, idealistic or ideological sort of issues, the philosophy, it ended up just going for a cheaper, easier route, which is a personal journey, sort of a person's perception of the world and change, if you will. The sort of a person related things rather than global related philosophical things.
Okay.
That's the best way I can describe without writing down my ideas and properly explaining things. So this is what you get when I don't script shit. Anyways, carry on.
No, I gotta completely disagree on that. Deus Ex, the problem I had with major problem I had with like human mankind divided.
The last one
is
Oh,
well,
God.
no, that's not actually the last one. There's two more after that. But the problem I had was the aesthetic and the world that it built felt so far removed from its actual gameplay that it was nice set dressing, but I wasn't really in that world. I was just dropped into a map, and I had to use the magic cybernetic abilities that I had to go and progress from point A to point B, kill that guy, and move on. I like what Cyberpunk has done. They've actually created this world that you actually live in. And it is, as you said, cheap and basic. But to be perfectly honest with you, that's reality. If it gets to the point where technology is so ubiquitous that literally even homeless people have prosthetic cybernetic arms, it's going to be
suspension
cheap.
of disbelief that I was like, yeah,
no,
that's
that's accurate. It's cheap. It is cheap. You're absolutely, it's supposed to feel cheap. If you want the best of the best of the best of the best, you're going to have these like glorious, possibly non-human looking legs and arms and face, but if you just a guy, a cybernetic arm is just a cigarette in a today's equivalent. It's going to be ubiquitous and cheap. You understand what I'm saying?
My point about the cheapness was basically that the story focuses on a person's journey rather than a more wider topic about philosophy. It's, your personal feelings is a one thing, but it's not gonna trump the world-shattering ideals and lessons of that. That was more the point that I was trying to put there, if you will. But I mean,
I think there's also jaded and
you're cutting out there. Hello? Okay, I guess Pilot just borked. There's your technology, eh? Ay. Hello? Pilot? The pilot's gone, I guess. Well, in the meantime, I don't know what to say. Well, I guess we're going into deep already. It's been half an hour, basically talking about Cyberpunk. Overall, there's plenty to talk about the stories and the individual aspects of the game. There's, as a matter of fact, I personally will be probably writing. Actually, now I'm thinking of most likely going to be making a hypercritical review of it. So as a matter of fact, it's a mega video. If you don't know my hypercritical series that I want to launch, basically there's only one video just now, and that's for Doom Eternal when it kind of came out later on. I did a whole hour's worth of just nitpicking and talking about its good and bad aspects, and the same sort of a thing I do want to apply to for this, though it's gonna take a long time to make and so on and so forth. So I suppose stay tuned on that. As a matter of fact, also for for YouTube, Twitch, and especially Patreon, there are actually rewards. Speaking of that sort of a thing, as a mentions at the end of those mega videos that I do want to make from time to time, and I'll make sure that that those that pledge for specific tiers would be mentioned as well as a big thank you for being patrons there. But now, so that's something sharing wise that you can. And there he is. Hello, Pilot again. Hello.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, finally.
No.
Yes.
Oh, thank God.
Yes,
Oh,
there we go.
what were we talking about?
I was basically closing up on the cyberpunk thing. Basically, again, cyberpunk's a massive game. There's plenty of things to nitpick and as well, generally speaking, talk about it and so on and so forth. At the current state, I would say, at least on the consoles, it's not a great experience. However, on PC,
I wouldn't know anything about that.
Yeah, I wouldn't know anything about that either. But actually, speaking of that, yeah, on the PS4, they didn't recall it, but they did.
They took it off the store.
Well, yeah, they did took it off the store and refunded it. So technically, recalled it. So that's kind of interesting. So yeah, the performance and quality of Cyberpunk, it's not great on consoles. As a matter of fact, I personally think that even on PC, the state and level at which the game portions of Cyberpunk are available would have benefited from another year of delays easily. I would have rather preferred another year of delays. But, that's just me. For quality of the, game, I'd much rather wait.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, there are major issues, but to be perfectly honest, I just passed 100 hours on it, okay? It's clearly not stopping me from playing.
Oh, no, clearly not. I mean, it's slightly more stable than Skyrim. And fuck, even to this day, Skyrim is a mess. And I'd love to play the fuck out of that, regardless. So yeah, I mean,
I'm not one of these people who think that the game needs to be completely and utterly. I know this is an unpopular opinion, but I'm not one of these people that needs the game to be 100% polished, rock perfect, before it's released. I don't really mind that much. I realize I'm opening up a slippery slope for developers to think it's okay to release unfinished games.
Guess what? It already has happened and will happen throughout these years. It's fucking shit.
Exactly. It's already going to happen. I'm kind of okay
Not happen. It already happens and happened.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. And I'm agreeing with you.
But,
This is where we're at, and I'm kind of okay with it. I realize that it's going to get more patches, it's going to get more content. I'm happy that I bought into it where I did, and I have definitely got my $60 worth. A little bit of frustration, a little bit of I wish they had done this or this or that, but again, not that much, and not enough to make me stop playing. So, yeah, I'm good.
I would say we still need to complain and beat the dead fucking horse about, games being released with garbage optimization or bugs and shit, but, hey, that's just me. I love to beat a dead horse, so well.
Dude, you know that quality control went through that game with a fine-tooth comb, and they have a book of bugs to report, and nobody addressed them. I'm not going to blame anyone on QC or dev because management went down and they said, just push it through. Just
QA,
push
not
it
QC,
through.
But okay.
Whatever. QA did their job. The devs tried to do their job. Management was the one that said push it through anyway. I got no problem.
There's also something to be said about the crunch and basically the levels of crunch.
All management's fault.
Yeah, that too.
And by the way, they're also getting chewed out right now. The developer is very publicly ripping into its own management staff and going, what the hell did you guys do? What is this? Why are we getting slammed for this? And they're having to very publicly answer for it. And it's not going well.
And there's also the fact that CD Projekt Red, at least the GOG end, removed there was this one Taiwanese game that they removed because, you know, Chinese didn't like or something like that. And then, yeah, fun times, basically. CD Projekt Red's not having great Christmas, I can tell you that much.
Oh, I disagree.
Yeah.
They made more than their
oh, sure.
budget
No,
back,
money-wise,
like,
yeah,
full.
but PR-wise, oh, fuck no. But oh,
And you
well.
know what? They're going to keep working on it. They're going to keep fixing it, and they're going to put out more stuff for it. I'm happy. I am.
We'll see how it goes. But yeah,
I'm
sure.
honest.
Right. Well, with that topic exhausted, well, actually, no, that's basically just scratching the surface because I could literally talk about it, and I am gearing up to talk about it for more than an hour. We'll see how long. Actually, I probably will have to stop myself making the fucking video longer than an hour or what else, but we'll see. So yeah. Let's then move on to our second topic of the day, and that is Elite Dangerous having the first-person shooter, you know, at least showcased properly, as at least proper as they could do, which is still a rather pathetic showcase, but setting that aside, surprisingly, I'm more positive about it. So, yeah, those that didn't see, Elite Dangerous released, what was it, the Developer Diary 3, where basically they didn't really answer any questions. Well, okay, maybe a few, but yeah, mostly just talked about the process of making the FPS shooting combat portion of Space Legs. So, yeah, that's a thing. It's curious, actually.
I will say this, is that I'm not... I'm going to tell you how little an impact that Dev Diary made on me, that I'm reasonably sure that I've watched it, but I don't remember anything about it.
Oh, me neither. The only thing that... Oh, wait, no, I do remember one thing. I remember two specific things. The clips of developers using actual firearms to both record the audio as well as, you know, whatever do with them, probably masturbate.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And the second thing is that they quite literally letterbox cropped the fucking game footage.
I saw that too, and I know why they did it.
Because incompetence? I would say yes.
No. It's because every single one of us has reused their trailer footage, and it all says pre-alpha footage on the bottom, unless you added the letterbox effect to it, which is exactly what I did. I'm actually, quite frankly, grateful that it doesn't say pre-alpha footage at the bottom like in every other trailer or dev diary. I'm actually kind of grateful for that.
But how about this? How about this, right? So they did the letterbox aspect ratio. I don't know about you, Pilot, but I certainly know that XCGS runs an ultra-wide monitor. And every time he films something on that sort of a monitor, or any monitor that is not 16:9 aspect ratio or 16:10, that usually the videos are about, and this one was specifically as well, when you film in different aspect ratio, the footage also comes out in different aspect ratio, and thus the whole screen is visible properly. And for some weird reason, publicly showcasing basically your inability to film your own in-game footage to present it to the public as... Well, the presentation just makes me question the capabilities of the company or the actual effort put in these videos.
First of all, letterboxing on any YouTube video is a stylistic choice. It has nothing to do with actual screen resolution or upload or anything like that, or editing or processing. It's all a stylistic choice. And by the way,
and you should feel about doing that these days, especially because remember, folks, YouTube supports different aspect ratios. You know, there's a maximum and minimum, but the point is, you can.
Supports 4.
Eh?
It supports 4 aspect ratios. That's it.
Did it? Well, regardless, the point is, days of 4:3 and 16:9 actually no. For a while in YouTube, there was only 16:9 aspect ratio that was accepted and nothing else. So days of needing to put on letterboxing, those that don't know, letterboxing is literally putting black bars top and bottom, cutting the frame, not stretching it out or anything like that, or having basically just black screen portions because your footage doesn't fit that frame, that frame particularly.
I mean,
Letterboxing
look-
is literally using normal 16:9 or whatever other footage and putting black bars limiting the actually filmed portion of it.
They get
That's
it, man. Don't over-explain.
stupid.
Listen, you know what? You say it's stupid, but it isn't.
Because it
If you go-
is.
No, listen to me. Listen to me. The image you have on your screen right now, the diamond back in front of the star. I guarantee you, I will promise you any amount of money that if you put letterboxing on that right now, it would look better than what you currently have. I'm telling you.
I'm not even gonna dignify that with a fucking answer there. Carrying on then, what did you think about the trailer itself?
The Dev Diary,
Yeah,
or the other one where they played
both of them, because frankly
Elton
speaking,
John.
okay, fair enough. That was the author of that song, right? No,
Pretty sure, yeah.
no, I don't. No, I think. God damn it! I know the name of the song is Space Odyssey. Was it? No. Oh God.
What?
The name of the song was Space Odyssey. No. God. David Bowie. There we go. Thank you, chats, for being awesome. That is David Bowie's. Yes, I did actually look it up. But it was God damn it. Space Oddity. There we go. That's the name of it.
I like Elton John's
that.
version better.
I don't care particularly. As long as it's not metal, I just can't really give a fuck about it much. So, or Queen, you know, rock and roll. And
I love Queen. So we're off topic, and it
yeah,
was okay,
yeah.
I guess. No. I mean, look, we were having this discussion the other day. Actually, is you know, I don't understand how. Oh man, I'm gonna shoot myself in the foot. I don't understand how people can watch, you know, no disrespect to any of these creators like Obsidian or Down to Earth or Burr, and watch the recap of the Dev Diary video. I'm like, what are we really talking about? I mean, the Dev Diary was pretty short and succinct on its own. I mean, okay, what are we really making content about here? What is this? What are we talking about? I don't really have the massive amount of hype I'm supposed to for Odyssey right now at the moment, because we just don't have that much to talk about. I have questions.
No, it's the
like
same principle, right? So to answer that easily, it's the same principle as basically reporting on something that exists. You're a person of, you know, in the media circles, and there is something new coming out, and even if you're just literally reciting it word for word, it's essentially using, you know, whatever information you got for, you know, interacting with your own community, at least in a creator terms on YouTube. Well, you can think of this as you know, televised news report as well, and you know, it's the same thing. You have your own audience, and well, you use it to, well, basically inform them, even if it is just reciting the same thing. And I honestly don't see anything wrong with it. Sure, some people may see it as a, you know, waste of time or whatnot else, even, you know, if you don't say anything new or original, whatnot else, and just recite everything.
I just don't get it.
No, it's sure, but that's not everyone. That's the thing. Not everyone watches, you know, official media. Some prefer to watch you, for example, instead of let's say the official channel. You know, and they care more for you doing the reports than them announcing it. That's
well,
the thing,
I care more
pilots.
for me doing the report too. But,
Well,
you know.
there you go. I mean, see? So, yeah, sure. This time there wasn't exactly a lot of information going on. So it was more of a showcase of, yeah, here's longer clips of things. Take it out of you what you will. That's it. So then, fair enough. At least it wasn't any more, you know, short, unrepresentative clips of just nonsense. Even though these were very short clips regardless. And cropped
well,
garbage with letterboxing. It's
oh, for God's sake! The
it's
point I'm trying to make is that also additionally, and as an aside from I don't know what we're talking about, but I have legitimate questions about what when's the alpha
oh,
is
you
paying
and
for the deluxe.
everyone else.
Yeah. What besides? Hey, look, we already know we have FPS gameplay. You putting out a dev diary telling us that you recorded actual guns to go do it. I mean, while as a nifty aside, I'm
Basically, what
pretty sure
everyone
you could have.
does.
Yeah, that's what everyone does, and more importantly, you could have gone to Free Sound and grabbed all those
Well,
same
that's for the indie developers who don't have the resources or time or both, basically, to do live recordings, their own sound studio, sound department, so on and so forth. But yeah, if you have a multi-million company that is staffed by over 100 people, you can easily afford to do live recordings for your product. When it comes to video games.
I'm just saying is that it is interesting watching them fire guns and record it in a kind of a documentary behind the scenes kind of way, which is nice.
I absolutely love that. It's nice to see.
I'm not really a documentary guy. I'm not really a documentary guy in my own right, but
still nice.
It's interesting to some people, but I would have preferred if you'd released it like after. Like, this is how we made the sounds of Elite. I think that would have been, great. Yeah, I'll watch that when I got a few free moments, But if I'm looking for information on the thing that you're about to put out, I would very much like information on what you're putting out. Like, what is our mobility situation? Can we get some live gameplay maybe? Even if it's just alpha, even if it's a staged event. If it's staged, I'm totally willing to watch somebody else pretend to play for a few minutes.
Pilot. No, what you need to do right now, like a good sheep, is go and pre-order the motherfucking thing and shut the fuck up and let them sell and hawk their crap. Okay, y'all need to not go and buy the fucking pre-order. Please don't, because it's a piece of shit and plague on this fucking industry, and we should not support any goddamn garbage like fucking pre-orders. So yeah, remember never to pre-order, folks.
Anyway, yeah. I'm just saying that I would like to see other things. Not that the stuff that they put out is bad per se. It's just not what I'm looking for. That's all.
Yeah. I mean, it's the end of the year, and it's fun not knowing, or rather, actually, the funny thing about Elite Dangerous Odyssey is that we, to this day, even with all these dev diaries and so on and so forth, we know more things about what it will not have than what it will have. Isn't that depressing?
It is now. Thanks for that.
Yes. The great and powerful one yet again strikes. But no, it's the funniest thing. We know that there won't be the ship interiors. We know that there won't be VR support on foot. We know that the new console generation optimization won't be a thing. What else we don't? We know that it won't have. It won't have oh wait, no, it's a speculation, but it's a clear speculation that it won't have EVA. We know that. I think they mentioned that it won't have new SRVs either. Right. I might be misremembering that, but I have a feeling that it won't just simply won't have.
I didn't watch the anniversary stream.
I didn't. I got better things like Cyberpunk to play, but
Yeah, well, not to mention the fact that it started at 3 a.m. for me, and they announced it at 2:30 a.m. I'm like, oh wow. Thanks, guys. That's great. I caught like the last 20 minutes of it, I think, when I finally woke up. But I mean, I'm not going to sit there and rewatch it back. It's nice to see all my friends got invited to go and participate too. And I didn't get a...
All your friends. Okay. Well, I guess we're not friends anymore.
Not all of them. Oh, shut the hell up.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But yeah, it's don't know. I mean, yeah, okay. After the latest, the showcase, the Dev Diary #3, right? Surprisingly, I got more positive about the whole FPS aspect because, well, hey, it looks like 2010 video game. It at least from the little animation stuff that we see in these little clips is basically that they have worse shit than Half-Life 2 from 2004, basically physics-wise, ragdoll-wise, and all that stuff. So generally speaking, FPS is gonna be subpar, frankly speaking, but as long as it's, properly functional, maybe it'll bring something decent. And I'm inclined to say that. Who knows? But never pre-order, goddammit. So yeah.
I got nothing more to say. I have nothing to talk about.
Literally, there's... Really... Oh, wait, no, we saw a grenade. You want to talk about the look of the grenade? It was boring.
Not really.
Carrying on. What else do you want to say, right? The thing is, right, and right, actually, okay, so here's a rant from yours truly yet again every year, right? At this point, I'm gonna be starting to make this as a fucking tradition, but regardless, I released on Reddit 100 questions to the developers, the same thing that I did for last year. And developers didn't really care to answer that. It's me trying to communicate and perhaps... spread the information about the game's past, current history, and what else, whatever it is, right? Not only the future of it. And, well, seems developers aren't keen on interacting, well, at least with me, so fuck me, I guess. So we'll beat that dead horse still.
Official Elite Dangerous was in this chat a few weeks ago. Maybe we should, watch what we're saying.
Penis, cunt, piss, shit, dick, ass, what else, nice? Prom night dumpster baby, there we go. That's your list of endorsements if you want. But on serious note though, it would have been nice for the anniversary of the video game to present interesting 100 question answer, thingamajig. But just, hey, I put my work into it. I stepped forth and extended my dildo of what was it? Olive branch.
I don't know.
Sure, let's go with that term. Friendship, yeah, sure.
Oh my god.
It was not reciprocated. There we go. So fuck me.
Well, first of all, your analogy is horrifying.
I know, right? This is why I write my jokes.
Excuse me. But no, realistically, if we're going to talk about frontier communication,
it's horrible.
I don't understand how they function, how they work. I really don't, and I'm saying that earnestly. I'm not saying it as a dig or as being insulting. I really do not understand how their communications division works. Because
I know, but okay, carry on.
Every once in a while, they'll I'll throw something out there like I made a T-shirt of Beard and Bruce, doing that line from one of the newscast ones they did a while ago. I made it into a sketch drawing. I threw it up on a T-shirt, and I said, hey, look, are we gonna make this an official T-shirt or what? And both of them answered. They said, oh my god, that's great, thank you. And I said, yeah, no worries. You're very welcome. I got an official contact for someone if I need something from Frontier, I should contact them that email directly. Great. But then I email that contact and it's like a 30% chance I'll get any kind of response at all. I'm like, okay, well, what was the point of giving me a contact as an official liaison to Frontier? Someone who deals with social media and social media creators, if I'm not going to get a response, what's the point? I don't understand what the...
I think the terminology that you are using is empty platitudes, but carry on.
I mean, is it though? It seems genuine when I do get to talk to someone that they're like, hey, we're people too, and we hear you and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And Steven and... I can't remember his other name. It's off the tip of my tongue right now. But they keep saying repeatedly on the live streams, we hear you, we are paying attention. And the very fact that they showed up in this chat during one of our Space Waste News shows that indeed, in fact, they are
I don't
listening
think
to
it was
even you
Space
and
Waste
me.
though. It was just some random stream
Was
that
it?
I did. Yeah,
It
I
was a
think
random
was.
stream. Okay,
Yeah,
but
it was random.
the point being is that even to us, even if they don't acknowledge us publicly, they are still listening, which great. But if you can't even acknowledge me privately, like at least respond to the email. What exactly is going on that, occasionally we'll get answers and occasionally nothing? What is that? At least be consistent. If the question I say, hey, look, can I get a free diamond statue of a Sidewinder to put up in my apartment? Even if you write back no, that's at least acceptable. Don't just ignore it completely. It sends the wrong message, right? I don't understand the playbook.
Right.
Do you?
Well, let's talk about the industry and PR handling then, I suppose, in my experience. Right. So, let's start with the Elite Dangerous old PR team. The Ed, back when it was his job to be the community manager lead, and Will, who basically came in as a follow-up to Ed, and or his right-hand man, and afterwards took over his duties and so on and so forth. Right. So at least when I got to talk with Ed and Will quite face to face, right? And actually two different instances. One time when I actually went to fucking Americas, right? And the second time, well, before that, actually, it was, I think, LaveCon. Yeah, it was LaveCon for the first time. And basically, their answer back in the day was that we shouldn't, as a creators, or even you watching right now, community members, if you have something to, poke them about or, ask, and they don't give you an answer immediately, you should poke them again and shouldn't be afraid to, annoy them with questions, because it's not, apparently. This was literally told to me by Ed, just write me a message. If I don't respond, write me again. It's no problem. And I have that feeling, oftentimes when I try to get an answer from, PR people or a company or something like that, I try to be discreet, just one message and that's it. Otherwise, it obviously don't want to be rude, right? And but no, Ed and Will, at least at the time, did say that it's okay to just send them multiple messages and so on and so forth. So as long as you're being nice and all, you should be okay, And actually I've experienced the same thing with not only Ed and Will, but also with Bo from again, the community team, but for other games, the same thing. So yeah, at least with the old team, it was at least predictable that they would, reciprocate the answer eventually. I suppose.
Well,
Still, as for
Will
the
moved up
new
to,
team,
the
it's
head.
a big old question as to what the fuck.
Well, Will moved up to the head manager spot. Now it's Arthur.
Oh God, I don't remember where Will now works exactly as a title. But regardless, the point is he's off the community managers, end. But yeah.
Now it's Arthur, Bruce, and Steven, and the last guy.
I honestly don't know what they're all about. Never talked to them face to face or even one to one in private or anything like. Actually, well, I had one interaction. Let's be honest, and I'll just keep it aside. Regardless, in the general industry, for a company that would, let's say, have a bigger game, right? They also have community managers, and I've interacted with a few of those. And with those people, well, usually they either answer or completely ignore you because they are completely swamped. Elite Dangerous, I would say, is not a game that has a great big community, at least in comparison to, let's say, I'll pick any bigger title. Elite, no. Codemasters, for example. I tried to get one of the Rally games as a review copy, right? And I tried to contact any of the Codemasters, community managers, and none of them answered because, well, what I learned later on with talking with a few other community managers with other companies is that they are absolutely swamped all the time. And sure, you can say the same thing is going on with Elite Dangerous, and actually the fact is, even when I talked with Ed and Will from old community manager team for Elite Dangerous, they also, well, seemed very swamped with whatever duties and tasks that they have to do. But thing is, Elite's community is not that great. And let's say a creator like Pilot, who is one of the more beloved creators out there in some way or another, is asking a couple of things, and it's not good thing to ignore. Something like that. You can ignore my ass all the time. It's no problem. I'm gonna be petty about it in some ways, but I'm a cunt, okay? Pilot's a bunny, let's just, in comparison, say. Yeah? Just saying. Anyways, carry on. So yeah, it's an interesting side job about the community manager. No, actually, generally speaking, about Elite Dangerous, really, community-wise, it really hasn't changed much. Developers, or, well, in this case, I would say community management team, is actually going out and both promoting as well as talking with the community members only when there is something to present. Thus, they are basically going after, most of the time, not always, clearly, but most of the time, after free promotion. When there is something to promote, they're going out and, contacting people. That's what I've noticed, at least. But when it comes to, a random question here and there, well, it depends. It might take time, and it might never be answered. So, it's not the greatest way to handle community, and, well, especially as tight-knit as and great as Elite Dangerous has. That's the only thing I really got to say, so there you go.
Yeah. Hey, what was that key combination that you told me about the other day to make the snippet?
That would be Windows key, Shift, and S.
S. For some reason, I was going 4. Oh, that's because it's 4 on the Mac. That's right. Oh, that's going straight.
Ew, you're using Macintosh?
I have a whole bunch of Macs in my house. At the moment,
I want to puke now.
Hey, man, Macs have their place. I'm telling you.
Oh, I don't dispute that, but it's just still yucky. Ugh.
By the way, Pete's Creative Recycling, that went straight up onto Twitter. Because, yeah. Anyway.
Who?
Wait, don't worry about it. It's in your YouTube chat.
Oh, gotcha. Right, answer your question. Right, sorry. I was just wondering, what has it? What now? Right, sorry. We try to read the chats and so forth, but usually these podcasty, shorter streams are usually meant for a more one-to-one conversation about the news.
Yeah. Sorry about
and
that.
more condensed stuff about stuff that happened this week. So yeah, and we are basically.
We are already over. We are actually already over budget, but we do have some more topics if you want to keep going.
Well, I mean, we have a few topics. Actually, one pretty good one. So it's pre-Xmas thing, so might as well go for it. Why not?
I mean, if you want to talk about what I think is the big one, it's the one that you added. It's Mandalorian had its season finale, and holy shitballs, that was amazing. Such a great series. It's such a great show. I freaking love it. And the next season isn't coming out for a whole freaking year. And I'm dying inside, but still. Oh, it was so good.
Well, fair enough. Personally speaking, again, I'm gonna try and not spoil anything about the finale and so on and so forth, in case you haven't seen it. So, generally speaking, it was quite silly. I noticed the choreography of a couple of things with the episode with Ahsoka that kind of indicated the level of detail they want to put into some choreography, and the same thing happened at the end. But again, I don't particularly care enough for that. I mean, fine, do what you will. Also, but generally speaking, it kind of got a little bit too fan servicey, I'd say, for the end.
Oh, for God's, can you just not be happy with anything?
I don't particularly care about Star Wars. It literally.
I don't particularly care about Star Wars.
As someone from outside, literally just watching the show, I'm looking at this thing and that thing, and whether or not it makes sense to be in the place. And when it doesn't, you start to wonder, is that fan service? And guess what? Usually the answer is yes.
Dude, I am not a Star Wars guy. You are actually more of a Star Wars guy than I am. We've had this discussion. You've actually watched those side series TV shows, and I haven't. What I'm telling you is, even I was like, holy freaking shit, this is awesome. When it was the hand, that was the big tip off for me. When it shows the hand, the gloved hand coming through as he's wiping through the troopers, I was like, oh shit, it's, I'm not going to give it away, obviously, but that was like,
good job there. You just did it.
No, it gives away nothing.
I'll carry on.
No. You don't even know who I'm talking about or what's going on, so it's fine.
Okay, yeah, let's be coy about that. Yep, carry on.
I'm just saying, it was, I genuinely enjoyed it. I liked what they did with it. I'm okay. No notes.
But no, overall, the series as a thing, yeah, it was actually pretty nice. There was actually the character internal, story, which is really nice about the Mandalorian in of itself, right? It was more visual than explicit, but still fine, fair enough as well. It was more ham-fisted as well, but then again, you kind of, reduce your expectations considering that it's a series, that it's a TV show, and frankly, because of those restrictions, the show was actually good. Because they had to be restricted, they couldn't just go out, blazing left and right the CGI and put what the fuck ever else out, right? So, yeah, actually really enjoyed it as a story and so on and so forth. So yeah, something recommended to at least take a look at, even as a standalone thing. So yeah, surprisingly positive. As for the next oh right, actually speaking of that, if we're moving on slightly, then yeah. After the success, at least of the first couple of episodes of Mandalorian, it was already the writing on the wall, but right now we already have the full writing unveiled, and that is series after series after series is being pumped through Disney+. Prepare for all your Star Wars bullshit coming in a TV format. Oh boy!
Why do they have to ruin it? Come on, I have no interest in the book of freaking Boba Fett. Why? We already have a Mandalorian show, a very good one. Can we not do another? Can we just keep with this one?
But Pilot, the fanboys are jerking off so hard, their dicks are falling off. The first, when Mandalorian was revealed, the TV show, everyone thought it was Boba Fett. And do you know how much hype there was behind it? Literally, you could smell the burning sausage from here. That's a great analogy, folks. Oh, fuck me. Okay.
Star Wars. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, pretty much. So, yeah.
No, I mean, look, I some of them, like, okay, I'm sure they'll probably be good. It just, yeah.
Yeah, Star Wars, man, Star Wars. Movies didn't really work out, so yeah, fuck it. Let's see what else is milkable from this franchise. Oh, look, TV show for some reason was good. Let's stretch that out. Oh, fucking hell.
Although I gotta, hey, look, props to Disney for going around and having such a refined process that the moment they have something awesome on their hands, they can immediately spin it off into 50 things that aren't. I mean, that used to take decades. They've really refined the process.
Actually, not really. I mean, when a good movie came out, right? usually it took 2-3 years immediately after the finish of the successful series. A new one spawned, and the 3 years basically it takes to give or take make it right. So yeah, I mean it was already in place. Oh god, by which moment? What was the first sort of franchise kicking off movies? Or well, if not franchise, then at least movie sequels or trilogies.
Oh, well,
Do you
technically that
remember?
goes you could say there were serial movies back in like, the 50s and 60s and
Sure, but now
probably even before
more
that. But I mean,
modern, what we consider, yeah.
if you're talking about modern day blockbusters with sequels and stuff like that, I'd say, and this is probably because I'm very partial, and I could be incredibly wrong, but I'd say it harkens back to like Indiana Jones, Back to the Future, stuff like that. Very heavy 80s movies.
80s,
Uh,
70s. Okay. Actually, yeah, you're right. You're right.
yeah.
Yeah. That's when
I mean,
movies actually started
those
getting
were gonna be
really,
your
yeah, the Terminator, the Predator, the fucking Alien, and so on and so forth. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, pretty much that was the age when basically the corporate structure really took a hold on to essentially all entertainment and movie industry.
Not to say that those movies are bad. I actually love Back to the
No,
Future
I mean
2 more
Terminator
than
2 was really good as well. I
Oh
mean,
God,
fucking
it's so good.
Aliens, was and still is actually my favorite movie, right? So yeah, Matrix. Well, that's a
Aliens?
questionable. Yeah, Aliens is my favorite movie.
What? I mean, I know that the phallic imagery probably speaks to you on a deep personal level, but I didn't think it'd be your favorite movie.
Well, there's not that much phallic stuff. It's more of a
What?
sexy stuff. Have you seen? Actually, have you seen the original? Who was the concept artist for Alien? Ah. Fuck.
I actually know this one, but I'm not going to help you.
No, fuck you. God, okay, I can't remember the concept artist for it. But
No,
yeah.
I get what you're saying. Is
Yeah,
that it's Geiger, by the way.
Geiger, yeah, that H.R. Geiger, yeah. His imagery was extremely provocative. If you haven't seen the original Alien concept art and so on and so forth, so
Yeah.
it's sure it didn't sort of exactly translate to the movies because of ratings and so on and so forth, but still a feel of it still remained, and there was something unique about it. So yeah, now there's also the monster
phallic
itself
imagery.
that was amazing. As a kid, as a matter of fact, the thing that actually grabbed me about Aliens was the unique threat of the alien, the acid spitting or acid filled creature, essentially.
Dude,
This
there's vagina imagery. There's dick and vagina imagery all over that movie. It is literally
Oh sure, yeah.
in
There's
every
constantly
scene,
that. You don't even
in
need
every
to search
corner.
Sure.
You know,
I mean, if you
when
care
you
enough,
say
a
something
lamppost
really
can be a
grabbed you-
penis too.
when you say something really grabbed you on a primal level, I'm like,
Well, as a kid,
I
I,
mean, it may
don't
have
think
pushed
my
you out,
understanding
but-
about such things was exactly matured. But one
Well,
thing
it's
that
there,
grabbed me
though.
was indeed the death, carnage, and blood. So yeah, something primal.
No, I genuinely I don't really like the Alien series. I just don't. I mean, it's
Fair
okay, and
enough.
I acknowledge them for their
It hasn't been
mastery of
great.
imagery.
The first movie was a silly man in a costume with a happy birthday, basically moment. You know the one I talk about, right? The happy
Yeah,
birthday moment in the shaft. The second movie truly took off with the action vibe, and then the third one was. It didn't exist, and then we had Aliens Resurrection, which was an action flick.
Yeah, by
That
the
was a
time we get
thing.
to Prometheus, there, I'm like, why
Aliens
are you
versus
guys still going?
Predator also existed. Apparently, I kind of liked it, but then after a retrospect, yeah, okay, that also kind of sucks. But oh well.
That's
poor
not the
franchise.
series for me.
Yeah, it's a series that was spawned by basically the first and the second movies, much like Star Wars, as a matter of fact. Much like Star Wars. Oh boy.
Talking about Mandalorian.
Yeah.
No, I loved it. I thought it was great. I loved the ending. I loved the episode, the second to last
It was a great
episode
adventure.
2. I thought
I
that was
liked
good.
it as well.
Yeah.
So something worth it.
But speaking of space, we're gonna do a really quick aside one. I know you don't give a damn about U.S. stuff, but the Space Force, the U.S. Space Force, has decided to call their people Guardians.
So basically, the Ronald Reagan's space, or no, it was Star Wars,
Star Wars
program. Now, oh Jesus fucking Christ, what is wrong with
so
America?
Dumb.
What is wrong with America's
Did they hire a 16-year-old to do the PR for this? That we're just gonna go straight up Destiny? We're calling it Guardians. How about why aren't we calling them Spartans? I mean, not to mention we already had a Space Force that was in the Air Force.
I would prefer to call them Dildosaurs. That name in my mind is more evocative, and at least you would understand and remember it rather than something generic as that. But oh well.
Or Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah. What was the one? What's the 40K one? The Space Marines that go and blaze a holy trail. I can't remember the name.
Oh gods. The Warhammer stuff?
Yeah.
Oh gods. Space Marines.
Is it just Space Marines?
Ultramarines. There was the Blood Angels. There were there were plenty of them actually. The different subdivisions. Astartes, yes. Hulks, I suppose. Smurf.
Like, I mean, if we're gonna if we're gonna rip off, if we're gonna rip off a series for putting, militarizing space, I mean, at least let's do one that we're going for, I mean, we're obviously not going out there as the Federation as much as I want it to. We're going out there as, let's be xenophobic. It's really in this year. Come on, at least embrace it.
Fun times. Purge the heresy, I say.
Jesus.
I'm more for Space Marines because at least that way you can think of something fucking cool and incredibly just insane.
Call them red shirts.
Oh no! Oh no!
That's accurate too.
Oh no!
Oh man.
Oh no! This is going off the rails. Oh boy. Yep.
Oh,
wow.
Wow.
I agree. Well, anyways, we got any other topics left?
I have one, and this one was obviously from a while ago because I missed the last episode. But
yeah, go for it.
They added Sephiroth to Smash Brothers, and I cannot figure out why. Sephiroth is a very old and dated character at this point. Is there really anybody in Smash Brothers demographic like our age or that much around that age that Sephiroth is a character for them? I have to imagine a lot of people don't really remember who he is anymore at this point. I mean, they're young. They're super young. They didn't play Final Fantasy VII. I guess the remake did come out.
Well, yeah, remake just came out basically. And
yeah,
it was one of the best
never
games
mind.
of the year as well. So
yeah, okay, that's fair.
Just shows what you know, my friend.
I know that's on me. That's my fault. I should have considered.
Exactly. You're not a true nerd. Your nerd license is revoked.
Well, JRPGs, I can kind of take it or leave it. Either they are engrossing and they grab me and I don't let go for a couple hundred hours, or I could not possibly care less.
Neat.
Well, it's the same story over and over. Oh no, you're the chosen one. Oh no, the monsters destroyed your home. Oh no, the girl you've had a crush on has been a secret wizard healer person. It's the same story.
I don't know. I absolutely loved the boy band last.
Hold on.
What was it? 14 or 15 was it? I think it was 14, right? No.
Oh, for the love of God, stop! Change your name. It's obviously not going to be the Final Fantasy.
It's
Jesus.
I mean, the whole mythos behind the Final Fantasy as a game was actually really cool, but at this point, it's gone for so long that it's just it's a mess.
It really is.
So
Oh no, the cute
yeah.
nun is the girl. The cute nun girl is actually a physical manifestation of a dark god.
I have literally no idea, and I'm afraid to ask what. So let's move
No,
on.
it's typical anime bullshit, man. All these tropes. They always reuse them over and over and over, and it's tiring.
Yeah,
I mean, something
yeah.
like Persona is neat and interesting. That's a JRPG.
I still really need to go through it because, man, it looks really interesting. At least the latest 2 games, I think.
It's
So yeah,
Persona 5.
yeah,
But
Persona 5.
I mean, that's interesting as hell. It still has tropes. It like still has the tropes. And yes, everything does have tropes.
Of course,
But
there's archetypes, and if you're going into
yeah,
writing, there are just so much of just basic, idea of character build and so on and so forth, if you will, in just general fantasy sort of literature and blah 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 blah. You can watch plenty of video essays about exactly that
yeah.
stuff. So let's not just carry on with that. Let's move, I guess,
All right.
with something.
I'm out. I'm tapped. What do you got?
Right. So we got all the topics for today. So indeed, we'll probably see you next week for, well, the end of the year's sort of a culmination and summarization of what we've achieved, what we've seen, done, and I don't know. We could make some sort of a special thing. I'm not even sure. We'll see what happens. Whatever happens, happens. Regardless for that, for this evening, I bid you adieu. Thanks everyone for watching. Of course, with me today, the one and only Pilot was present, doing his thing. So go check his stuff out. And I guess that's about it for this week. Take care.
Thanks
of
for
yourselves.
watching, guys.
Yep, and stay safe and wash hands, wear a mask, don't be stupid. There you go. That
Nothing to add. Just don't be dumb.
Yep, pretty much. Take care.